Hello, friends. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Hardik Shah's Medical Science. Today, I'll give you the 6 important tips for reducing the blood sugar naturally without using any medicine. So, let's first try to understand what are the normal sugar levels. When I say normal sugar levels, it is always measured in a 3 different ways. The first is fasting plasma glucose or FPG. That means you measure your blood glucose after 8 to 10 hours of fasting. Normally, it is less than 100 milligram per deciliter. The second is PPG, that is postprandial plasma glucose. Means you measure your blood glucose exactly after 2 hours of major meal, either lunch or dinner. Such glucose should be less than 140 milligram per deciliter. Third, an important parameter to check your blood glucose is HbA1c, also named glycated hemoglobin. This gives you an idea of 3 months average glucose in your blood. Normally, it should be less than 5.7%. Now, when you can say that you're suffering from high blood sugar, high blood glucose, or a diabetes, when your fasting plasma glucose or FPG goes more than 126 milligram per deciliter, or postprandial, that means after food sugar is going beyond 200 milligram per deciliter, or your HbA1c is more than 6.5%, any one of the parameter is out of the control, that is been termed as high blood glucose or a diabetic. When you have a diabetic, it has a very high impact on your body. So what are the impact of the high blood glucose? If your glucose remain elevated, there are all chances it develops retinopathy. Retina is the tissue responsible for the vision within the eye. Because of a high blood glucose, there are all possibilities your retina may get damaged. Since your retina get damaged, a person may end up with the blindness. Apart from a retinopathy, a person also may suffer from a neuropathy. Neuropathy means damage to the neurons. Neurons are the one which is responsible for transferring the signal between the brain and the body. This neurons may get damaged, named neuropathy. The one which is responsible for filtration of a blood, named nephron. This nephrons may get damaged in high blood glucose. This is known as kidney damage or a nephropathy. You may suffer with a heart attack or any other cardiovascular condition with continuously remain high blood glucose. Or there is a chance of a clot within a brain named brain stroke. So there are a lot of implications of high blood glucose. Because of this, it's important to control the blood sugar naturally without any medicines. So, how can I control the blood sugar or reduce the blood sugar without medicines? I'll give you the 6 different ideas, the 6 different ways we can reduce the blood glucose even without having a single pill. The first is weight management, a very important tool. It has been found that if you reduce 1 kilogram annually for the next 10 years, you will reduce the chances of becoming diabetic by 33%. On the other hand, if you increase your weight 1 kilogram annually for the next 10 years, you are increasing a chances of becoming a diabetic by 49%. So it's very important to control your weight. Body mass index, BMI, is a risk factor for developing a diabetes. Normally, what is BMI, body mass index, is generally in between 18.5 to 24.9. If it goes beyond 25 but still less than 30, that means you are overweight. When it goes beyond 30 and it is still less than 40, you will be considered in a category of obese. More than 40 is morbid obesity. So 90% of a diabetic patients generally been found in these two categories, either obese or a morbid obesity. So it's very important to control your BMI. So a simple questions come to the mind is, how can I calculate my body mass index or a BMI? A very simple formula is kilogram per meter square. That means your weight in kilogram and height in meter square. So let us assume that your weight is 80 kilogram and your height is 1.73 meters or 173 centimeters. Then what is your BMI? You calculate 80 by 1.73 square and you will be getting an answer 26.7. That means your BMI is 26.7. You fall into the overweight category. This is how we can calculate the BMI. Second is keep moving. You should ensure that you should keep moving your body. Okay? It has been found that if you are doing a brisk walking for 30 minutes, within 30 minutes of a meal, it reduces the blood sugar by more than 50 times than you sit idly sedentary. Okay, so it's important to walk a brisk walk within 30 minutes after a meal. Apart from this, it has been recommended that one should continue with the aerobic exercise. Aerobic exercise include swimming, jogging, running, dancing. Such exercises should be continued at least for 30 minutes a day and 150 minutes a week. Apart from aerobic exercises, one should go for a resistance exercise. Now, what is resistance exercise? Where you are making your muscles stronger by pulling against the weight. So all weightlifting kind of a exercise or a gym exercise, we can consider it into the resistance exercise. Such exercises should be continued for 2 to 3 times a week. The third is one should limit the inactivity. You always should remain active. Don't be inactive for very long. Make sure that you stand or walk around at least every 30 minutes. The third and important tool to control your blood sugar is say no to stress. You should avoid the stress, all type of a stress, whether it's a physical stress or emotional stress. Stress is mainly responsible for increase in adrenaline and cortisol in your body. These are the one which can increase blood sugar in your body. So one should avoid all type of a stress. The fourth is you should see what you are eating. Okay? This is a diabetic plate, or the people who are suffering from high blood glucose. They should ensure that in their plate, that should be a 50% non-starch vegetables. Non-starch vegetables, where the examples are broccoli, cabbage, or a cauliflower. It should be there at least a 50% of your plate. Apart from this, 25% of a starch or a carbohydrate should be there. For example, potatoes, sweet potatoes or corns, and 25% of a plate should be there with the proteins, where you can have a lean meat, poultry, fish or eggs. We can have a separate video on the food that one should consume in diabetes. The fifth is one should avoid drinking sugar. It has been found that if you're taking beverages or soft drinks, it has a direct spike on your blood sugar levels. If you are replacing this with low calorie alternatives such as water, coffee or a tea, that can reduce the chances of being diabetic by 2 to 10%. So it's very important to avoid drinking sugar. Last but not the least, the sixth, one should have a sufficient amount of sleep. If you are not having a sufficient sleep, poor sleep can increase your appetite. It does the weight gain and also increases the hormone cortisol in your body. Put together, these three things increases our blood sugar level. So these are the 6 things that one should ensure to keep your blood sugar under check without medicines. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and forward.